Hey, if you want to change your income, change your calendar. I'm your host, Steve Kyles. You're listening to the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast, powered by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. And what a great topic. I mean, Carl, you and I were talking last week, and you said, Steve, I got it. I got it. You want to change your income? Guess what? Change your calendar. What the
Yeah.
heck?
Yeah.
That's a
Great,
mic drop, man.
great topic. So I think if we got 10 loan officers to randomly just open up their calendar and let's take a look at it, I'm going to guess wrong word. I would expect, I'm not guessing because I've seen it, because I've done this, that 8 out of the 10 have nothing on there. 1 out of the 10 or 2 out of the 10 has things on there. Only 1 out of the 10 has a calendar set up that's structured for success. So I would say about 10% of the loan officers have a dedicated time for prospecting on their calendar. Probably
That's interesting.
about 10%. Yeah. One of the first things I do, Steve, when somebody said, "Hey, I'm looking to grow my business. How can you help me?" I say, "Awesome. Let's do a screen share real quick.
Pull up
Open
your
up your."
calendar.
Yeah, I do. I look
Yeah.
at their calendar, right?
Yeah.
Which is, it's not meant to be a jerk or anything.
Yeah.
I'm not, I don't get on there and insult them. I say, let's look at your calendar,
Sure.
and it becomes very obvious when they do that. So, Steve, um, what would you say? Give me a couple things that I want to make sure that's on my calendar, and how often is it on my calendar, and when is it on my calendar? Like this thing about if I want to change my income, change my calendar. Like, walk me through that.
Yeah.
What do I need to put on my calendar?
Yeah. So first thing is what matters most. So it goes back to what you and I talk about. What's the one thing you got to keep going up river? Like, what's the one thing you did that got you your last 10 deals? So if somebody says, "Hey, I got a recommendation from a realtor." Awesome. Well, how did you get that realtor? Well, I met the realtor because I was making outbound calls. Like, you got to keep going up. So I got to find out what is it I did that brought in my last 10 transactions and go do more of that activity. So the first thing, in my opinion, the absolute number one thing is we talk about it all the time. Make more offers, you'll make more money. How do I do it? 2 hours, Monday through Thursday of outbound prospecting. So whenever I look at a calendar, just like with the same thing you do, is it's like, okay, show me where your scheduled prospecting is taking place. And I want everybody to hear what Carl and I are saying. I'm not talking about prospecting like you got to make cold calls. We believe that most of you don't even have to make cold calls. You just have to be calling and reaching out proactively to the people that are already relationally referring you business, whether that's realtor partners or current clients in process, whether it's past client database or pre-approved and looking. And now what you do is you just build a simple structure around what brings in your business. So number one, prospecting. And in our world, especially when you're committed to call stars, the prospecting's from 9:30 to 11:30 Eastern time or 9 to 11 on the West Coast time through call stars. And it's like, Carl, whatever happens in your day, if you only put the 2 hours of prospecting in your calendar and you treat it and honor it like an appointment you can't miss, you'll see massive results. So number one, you got to look at prospecting. I think number two, you got to look at time to begin to, like, when am I going to meet with the leads that are coming in? If you book just those 2 times every single day, it's lights out, game over. So for us, 9:30 to 11:30, we're doing call stars. And then in the afternoon, once the leads have started coming in, we're scheduling our loan consultations. And that would be simply from 2 to 4 p.m. It's another 2 hour block. It gives me the opportunity to have 4 client appointments every single day. And somebody says, "Hey, well, I only need 2." Awesome. You got an extra hour back. So it's not that you have to fill every hour, every minute, although that is a goal, but that when it comes in, it's got a place to sit on your calendar. And Carl, what that does, it simply removes the chaos. Because so many times people are sitting there saying, "Hey, I had a file blow up. I didn't have time to prospect." Well, show me where it's in your calendar. It's not in my calendar. I get to it if I can. Well, hold on. Let's talk about it. Is putting out a fire, did it bring your last deal in, or did relationships with agent partners, past clients, pre-approved and looking at clients in process do it? Well, that did it. Okay, well, how do we make sure that nothing gets in the way of that? So that's part of, I think it's the simplest thing to do, those two, because it's only 4 hours out of an 8 hour day. And guess what you can do the other 4 hours, Carl? It don't matter.
Mm.
Yep. So the key is, and look, it doesn't matter what you've got there. It's that you're following what matters most to move, what moves the needle. Prospecting's got to be there, and then time to meet with your clients. Now, Carl, here's the question I've got. Because when I think about the calendar and what that looks like, my question is, how do I follow it? It's on my calendar. I got it at 9:30. I'm gonna make the call. I got my loan consultations from 2 to 4. Like, how do I what how do I know I'm gonna do it?
See, I was thinking that same thing because I could have on my calendar, uh, go for a bicycle ride of 10 miles
Yep.
or go for a walk around the neighborhood for 45 minutes or something like that. Or in this case, do my prospecting from 9:30 to 11:30. It's on my calendar, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's going to happen necessarily. And so how do we make that happen? And for me, um, I talked about this, I think a couple of weeks ago. It's mentorship. So
Mm.
I have mentors in my life and I have coaches in my life, me personally. And Steve, you're a mentor to some people and you're a coach to some people, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
you're a mentor and coach to yet a different group of people. Mentorship is how? Mentorship is, all right, show me what to put on my calendar. All
Yep.
right. So I'm going to put these 4 activities on my calendar and show me how to do each of those activities. All right.
That's
Here's how
right.
you do it. And here's what you say. And here's
Mhm.
the script. And here's who you say it to. And here's why and when. And here's all that. All right. So now let's put it on your calendar. Coaching is the discipline to do what mentorship showed me how to do.
Mm.
So I don't think, and I know this is going to seem
Mm.
self-serving, but I
Mm.
really believe it. Coaching is where the discipline of doing what's on my calendar. Because then when I show up on my coaching call with you, Steve, you
Yeah.
go, all right, Carl, I see that every Wednesday from 9:30 to 11:30, you do your prospecting to your past database. Show me the results you got from this last Wednesday. And I go, well, Steve, buddy, I just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
I, I
I saw it was
fire
on my
blew up
calendar
and this
and
happened and
yeah, and I just didn't do it.
yeah.
So what coaching does is, again, not being a jerk. What was the obstacle? What got in the way?
Mhm.
What do we need to remove that obstacle?
That's it.
And Carl, can I count on you next Wednesday not to let that or any other obstacle get in the way? What if anything could possibly come up next Wednesday? And maybe I insert, well, this could happen or that could happen. All right, what are you going to do if and when that does happen? What are you going to do? Okay, I'm going to do it. So, Carl, when you and I speak next Thursday, and I ask you how you did on Wednesday's calls, do I have your personal commitment that you're going to do it on Wednesday?
Mm.
And I'm either going to say yes or no. If I say no, then I'm not in and I'm not going to
Yeah.
get results. If
Yeah.
I'm in and I say yes, you can count on me. Um, Dude, even if I don't feel like it, like some mornings I don't feel like doing my bike ride, or some mornings I don't feel like doing my jumping jacks, or some mornings, some days I don't feel like going shopping with the lovely Mrs. White.
Yeah.
But I know it's going to be better for me if I do those things, especially shopping with the lovely Mrs. White.
So yes, it will.
And so coaching provides the discipline
That's right.
to make sure that I do it. Dude, that's like Weight Watchers.
Yeah.
That's Weight Watchers. What they really bring to the table is a big scale that they go stand on at the beginning of each meeting. At the beginning of each meeting, the first thing you do is you go stand on the scale. And I'm going to argue that one simple action is more valuable than everything else they do. That the discipline of I'm sitting there in front of my coach,
That's it.
figuratively speaking, naked to all, and saying, here's my results of what I did.
Mm.
And that alone will really help move the needle on keeping my discipline. So I think coaching comes involved, but you have got to, if you want to change your income, you got to change your calendar. Dude, I know on my calendar. So I originally got in the mortgage business. One of the reasons was the freedom of it. Well, I can do
Yeah.
what I want, when I want. I'm my own boss and I got freedom. What I found out, that's a double-edged sword, and that
That's right.
that comes with benefits, but if I don't discipline myself, I'm in for a hard time, right? And that same freedom can it that I've got to do some prospecting in some of that free time. So I went kicking and screaming. And brother, I'm going to tell you, when I started living on my calendar, because if anything is worthy, it goes on my calendar. If it's not on my
That's right.
calendar,
That's
it's
right.
not important.
That's
But
right.
if it's on my calendar, it's got to happen. And when
Hmm.
I started doing that, I've never had more free time and I've never had more income than I do today. Being, dude, I am rabid about my calendar. It starts at 9 o'clock. It ends in my case at 4:30. It runs Monday through Thursday. And that enables me. I've earned the right to take off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I've earned the right to take off the evenings. I've earned the right to enjoy my early mornings before 9 o'clock because my calendar is set and I've got coaching to be disciplined
That's
to
right.
do that activity Monday through Thursday. Calendar change your life.
That's it, man. Mic drop. I mean, that's it. I mean, no, I 100%. And you know what I hear, Carl? Me personally, if you look at the DISC assessment, I'm a ID, which big relationships, very bullet pointed, like to get it done, not very good at details. And I tell you, a lot of you listening today, you'd say, man, I'm great with relationships. But the thought of leaning into a calendar is like I just can't be that restrictive. I used to think that too. It was like, man, I can't do that. I got to hit the day as the day comes. And what we've learned is this, your calendar becomes your freedom. Because when I wake up, I'm not wondering what I'm doing. My calendar, which is already based on my priorities, like every Friday morning, you want to know where I'm at from 7:30 to 9. I'm dropping my three kids off to school. That's my day. That's dad's day for kids. So even things that are family are moved throughout my calendar. And what happens is the important things go first, and then everything else, it goes back to this. If I get what moves the needle the most done first, everything else can fall by the wayside and we still win. What we've learned is this, and me personally, if I execute my calendar at 80%, dude, I have crushed the week. Because you and I know this, 20% of what we do provides 80% of our results, and your calendar is the key indicator. And you know what, Carl? I use it for this too. Every weekend, I sit down in my chair before the kids get up on Saturday, and I always look back over the previous week and I color code my calendar. Was it green time or red time? That's it, no in between. Green time means selling, prospecting, doing activity that moves the needle in what we're doing. Red time is administration, chasing conditions, doing the things like team meetings, doing things that don't literally bring in more sales to our organization. And brother, that is a eye opener when every week you look back and you say, "Ooh, I may have wasted a little more time than I thought." Or, "Hey, man, I crushed it." You know, when you look back and you're like, "Man, I had so many great appointments and they were all on the right activity." So I think your calendar becomes something you look forward to. It holds you accountable. You've got somebody that I just think it's a great gift. So
Hey, Steve, if I want to see a week in the life of a super successful loan officer and see what their calendar looks like, um, can you map that out for me? Like where do I go to get that mapped out for me?
hey, so Carl, what I would do is this, go to freedomplanningcall.com, freedomplanningcall.com. Myself, Kristen, one of our team members will literally walk you through we call it a livable calendar. And we'll walk you through what it looks like and at least the framework on how to put it in your calendar and begin to execute at a high level. And I'm excited for you because when you begin to live by your calendar, it's something that'll just give you exponential results. And so go to freedomplanningcall.com, freedomplanningcall.com. We'd love to walk you through it. It'll be our gift to you, and I'm confident you'll see massive results from it. So, Carl, great episode.
Great episode, Sam, man. Great episode. Uh, you want to change your life, you want to change your income,
Mhm.
change your calendar. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you, Steve.
All right, guys. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Just get started. See ya.